All this tailgate focused on the proposal stage in our fungicide process. You know, putting together a proposal is a really important step, and that step can't not be taken unless we've done a really good job of discovery in phase 2. You know, discovery is that place where you asked all those great questions and you uncovered their problems and challenges. You created urgency by asking implication questions, and you possibly even asked some really good need payoff questions. All that information that you took notes on can be added to your proposal. In this podcast, we're going to be focusing on 3 main areas that are going to help you present a proposal. The first one is to ask permission to put one together and to gain what I call the advantages of that, putting that proposal together. The second step we're going to show you is to build value in you and creating this proposal, and so that they won't move ahead with someone else before they first sit down with you. And then the third thing I'm going to share with you is how to present that great proposal. So go ahead and grab your pencil and your notebook, and let's get started. One of the things that I really want to focus on, and I'd want you to focus on, is to asking a needs payoff question before we even get to the proposal stage, and that is, you know, Mr. or Mrs. Farmer, what would be the advantages of me thinking about your farm and putting together a customized proposal for you to consider? So that's a needs payoff question. I'm asking the farmer in this case, what would be the 3 advantages of me putting that proposal together? Now, if you don't want to use 3, knock yourself out and use 2. But what would be the 2 advantages of me putting together a customized proposal for us to review or for you to consider? So a needs payoff question is something that you really need to lead with before you just pop down that proposal. Okay? Now, I'm going to give you another what I call tip that's going to build value in you. And if you know that they may be considering someone else on their fungicide, I might then say, you know, I'm just curious. Did the other people that you were working with, did they come out and sit down with you and talk about priority fields? Did they get out in the field and do some scouting before they shot you a price? I'm just curious. What options did they share with you beyond the product, the fungicide, that could help build and increase your value in yield? You know, and so we're asking those cycle statements now that are just outstanding. If you know that someone else that maybe shot them a price, or they're going to call them and get a price, now you're sharing with them the value that you can create, and you're using a cycle statement. Okay, really, really important. Now, when you're asking for permission to put together a proposal, I'm going to give you some words that will not only shape your ability to allow them to say, yes, I want you to put together a proposal for me, but it's also going to then shape how they're not going to move ahead with someone else before they sit down and chat with you. So listen to these words, and then you're going to want to make these yours as a part of your pre-prep in delivering the proposal. And so here we go. You know, Mr. or Mrs. Farmer, what would be the advantages of me putting together a proposal for your farm? They're going to give you those 2 or 3 things. Then I want you to say this next. You know, what I would like to do then is to go back and review your priority fields. I want to review your yield goals. I'd like to put together some customized recommendations for your farm. Did you just hear what I said? I'd like to go back, think about your farm, and put together some customized recommendations for your farm. Now, that's going to take me a day to put together. So you're going to want to set a timeline with that farmer. So I'm going to set that time. That's going to take about a day to put that together. Now, would there be any reason why you would move ahead with someone else before you and I would review this proposal that I'm going to customize for your farm? Now, by us asking that question, we're putting that farmer on the spot, aren't we? Now, if we have any trust, if we have any relationship, or if we're building trust, can you see how those words, how that question puts that farmer in a position where they're going to want to say yes? No, I wouldn't. There'd be no reason why I'd move ahead with anybody else. Now, if they say, yeah, well, if I'd move ahead with someone else, then you get to pause and you go, really? Well, then how should I proceed then if you're going to potentially pull the trigger with someone else before I put together my customized recommendations? Okay. So hopefully these words and this process begin to help you. Now let's talk lastly about how to present a proposal. Now your proposal template, you're going to notice that there's a picture of a farm. If you've flown a drone or if you have a picture of their farm, that's a nice, what I call it catches their eye. So I would include that. You're also going to see the second page where you're able to list some of those problems and their needs and really what the urgency of the situation. You can customize that in any way that you would like, but it's a way for you to summarize some of the things that you and that farmer have discussed about their farm. You're going to be able to use your calculator, your Bear Plus calculator, and any other calculators that you find necessary to build the customized math for their farm. I would include that. Okay. You may want to include some of the prevent, minimize, maximize, and take advantages, those PMMTs, as a part of the third page of your proposal, where you talk about the products, where you talk about those really, really specific products and services that you're going to provide that farmer as a part of your fungicide package. And so Delaro, for instance, it's going to provide you protection per day. How many more days of protection will your product provide versus something that, yes, up front is less money, but when we look at a per day cost of protection, you're going to notice that what I'm presenting you is much lower than the other option that you might be considering. Okay? So when you're presenting the proposal, we're going to talk about the prevent, minimize, maximize, take advantages of. We're going to talk about our recommendations, and our recommendations are based on their needs before we get into any of the costs that are going to be included in your proposal. Now, one of the most important steps to take is to demonstrate your value, to demonstrate your value, to demonstrate your service in your expertise. Don't forget to customize your quote-unquote buffet list. What do you plan to do ahead of the decision? Well, I'm scouting your fields. We're prioritizing your fields. I'm going to go out. I'm going to make the call in regards to when we're going to apply the fungicide. I'm going to follow back up in 14 days. I'm going to be in the field 21 days after. So your service needs to be a part of your buffet list, and be very, very specific. And be very, very specific in regards to how you can help that farmer and how you can demonstrate your value and expertise. You're going to want to build that, and you're going to want to present that in your proposal. I want to congratulate you for getting to this stage. I want to congratulate you for being unique. I want to congratulate you on making a difference and increasing yield and protecting yield using the fungicide process and your expertise to a degree that's going to help put you in a position to demonstrate how your recommendations are of great value. So I wish you the very best in presenting your proposal. Go out, present your proposal, and be ready to close.